Hi, I'm Melody Gibson. I'm the Youth Initiatives Director at the Civic Design Center, leading our Design Your Neighborhood initiative. Design Your Neighborhood provides project-based learning experiences that are written at the middle school level but could be adapted to different grade levels that get young people involved in thinking through how to plan and design their communities to make them more supportive of youth well-being. The projects look into topics such as transportation access, park amenities, and affordable housing.
The Dashville project really kind of opened up a lot of my students because the collaboration was, something that was just kind of natural. The Dashville program was very easy to implement. All of the curriculum was designed for us. We were very well supported by the Civic Design Center. They sent volunteers into the classroom who worked closely with the students and kind of guided them through the steps. I would highly recommend the Dashville program to any middle school teacher, really. The fact that there was such an easy lift for a classroom teacher, being so well supported, all of the materials were provided by the Civic Design Center. So other than, managing the classroom environment and supporting the volunteers from the Civic Design Center, there wasn't much for me to do other than join in the process. The Dashville program is kind of a 2-day program, but since I was teaching it in my STEM classroom, I turned it into a week-long project. So after the day one build, I had my students research the different sustainability features, and then they developed Canva presentations. So when the Civic Design Center came back for day two, my students were actually able to present to the Civic Design Center on their research and their learning. We had one student who said, I'd never really thought about being an architect or an interior designer before, but that's something that I really want to explore now because of this program.
I'm always seeking to provide exposure and experience to the students so they can see what they do in the class has a connection to what happens outside. And it couldn't have been any more better than the program. It was amazing, So the kids created this design, right? We created paw prints, we created the Panther design, and we also have a nice branding of the logo for LEAD on the street. We're introducing elements of art, and in those elements of art, we're talking about color, we're talking about line. So all of that was a part of it. The kids learned about who the commissioner of NDOT was. They had to write letters to NDOT. They had to think critically about how does traffic affect how they get to school, bus routes, bike lane, how they walk to school, how does traffic affect the car rider line. All those things had to be considered. And they feel a sense of pride that they did that. I'm all about connecting real world experiences to what takes place in the classroom. They got to experience it in real time where I do this and it matters. Change happens. And that was wonderful. I have already recommended this program.
So with the Civic Design Center, our students were able to work on the transit project. We do research on what is public art, what does that look like in the city, and then we go deeper into, well, what is your neighborhood like? And we ask questions about where they live, and then they come up with a visual idea with their group, and then they display it on a large piece of paper that the Civic Design Center provided. The students feel like they have a voice in what they can say about their community, and it's really cool to have the opportunity to have the public art because a lot of them will never get an opportunity like that. So just the idea that your art may be seen by the general public is pretty cool to them. The Civic Design Center provides the curriculum, and it's in the form of a book. There's lessons. It tells you the standards, what days you should be working on those lessons. They also provided the supplies, paper in the correct format that they needed, but that was optional as well. So you can also do other forms of art. You don't have to do the paper if that doesn't work for your class. So there was a lot of freedom with that. I would definitely recommend this project for other art teachers. It was a lot of fun. My kids love it every year. They look forward to it. I love it.
With all of the projects, a common thread is that we want young people to have something that they are contributing to their community. We really go at this from a lens of how can we help teachers get hands-on, active, project-based learning into their classroom without having to do a ton of work. We've done the work for you. We have created detailed lesson plans. We've created a ton of graphic organizers. In a lot of cases, we even come in and facilitate for you. I encourage you to explore the projects a little more to see where it might fit into your subject area and fit into the type of experiences you're looking for in a community partnership for your school.